I was embarrassed. I was full of a lot of shame. I was feeling just completely, utterly defeated. I was no longer able to afford my apartment, and that's how we ultimately ended up at Pads. I'm a survivor of sex and human trafficking. I was trafficked for a good chunk of my life, and the Lake County Task Force were the ones who actually found me in a sting operation. And when I was found, I was sent to a rehabilitational program. And then from there, I actually went on to become a survivor consultant, working with other women who are seeking to exit the lifestyle of prostitution, or who have self-identified as victims of trafficking. COVID really impacted the line of work that I did, and ultimately me losing a lot of the contractual work due to the lack of funding. That eventually led me to be displaced. Being homeless with a child, you're responsible for not only the well-being and safety of yourself, but also of this innocent soul that has been brought into this world, who depends on me to guide them and protect them. And all I kept thinking was, how long am I gonna be here? And how am I gonna explain this to my child? The very first day I arrived to Pads, the staff did an awesome job of making me feel less anxious. So when I arrived, I immediately walked in knowing that I absolutely needed some sort of mental health services. Given all of my past history there, I felt it was really important to be healthy and whole, not necessarily for myself, but because my child needed her mother. Prior to that shelter being Pads, it was a Red Roof Inn, and I was actually sold out of that Red Roof Inn. So stepping back onto that property, and now I have a baby, it really took my mind back a decade. And so it took a lot of strength and a lot of courage to stay there. And it's almost like this beautiful full circle moment. That shelter was a place where I was exploited out of and beat and held against my will. But this time, the hotel is no longer a hotel. It is now a safe haven for mothers and children and their families to find refuge, a safe place to stay, to figure out their next steps. It was an absolute full circle God moment. Pads actually partners with a lot of local restaurants, a lot of local catering businesses. So oftentimes every week we would get deliveries of food. They'd also leave like notes of love, which is so sweet. Within a month of being in my apartment, I went back to being a survivor consultant. I went back to providing mentorship, and I went back to doing what I love, and that is educating the masses about the atrocities of modern day slavery that is sex trafficking. And I refused to allow my daughter to live in a world where her body can be commodified. So now it has become my life's mission to put the bad guys away. So now I'm back in school. I'm working on getting my degree in criminal justice. My goal is to be a U.S. federal marshal. It's gonna take a couple of years for me to get there, but I'm so thankful to all of the people I've crossed paths with. For the donors, thank you. Because if it weren't for your financial backing of Pads, me and my family wouldn't have had somewhere to go. And that's the truth.